Okay, we're back. We're live. Luke's with me again. We're going to be tackling the solo mode of Tabannusi. So we've just finished a two-player playthrough where we pretty much taught the game. In this video, we are going to be doing just the solo playthrough. We will teach you how the solo game works, but we're not going to teach you how the main game works. We have had some help because we were just trying to work out, we were trying to read the rules on how this urban card works. It's the maximum number of houses the bot can have in each district.
Right.
Each time they build a house, they can remove a token from the card. That's what we thought, but the rule book, we can't find in the rules where it says that once the tokens have gone, it no longer builds houses in that district. We can't find that. And I'm also not sure what this 2 points is at the end of the game per building.
I would have thought 2 points per building in its place makes sense because that compares it to our urban cards.
But then there's 2 buildings here and there's the number 3. So yeah, that's what we're not sure about.
I think it's actually 2 in each is kind of weird. Like I say, the book does not actually explain the urban card.
The book, unless we're missing it, the book doesn't actually explain how this card works. So I have asked Board and Dice to let us know. But they haven't responded yet, so we're just gonna see we'll see how we get on.
Wing it,
and hopefully we'll get an answer before the end of the stream of how this card actually works. So, in the solo game, we are playing against an Automa, which has got a king card. There are 4 different king cards included in the game. We are playing against Gulbot, is it, or Gulgabot? Gilgabot, which is the one that's recommended for your first game. This is the card specifically for this king, and we also have this solo deck of cards. So there's a solo deck of cards here, which is the same for every king. You give them a shuffle, and you deal out top 2 cards, and you place them face up next to each other like that. Now, the sum of the numbers on the top tell you the district in where the Automa is going to start clockwise from District 1. So we have 2 plus 0, so we go 2 spaces clockwise from 1. That's where the Automa is going to go. The other thing is in the top right of the board. Definitely turn on Klingon subtitles, because if we do make any mistakes, if you're watching this not live, if you're watching this afterwards, turn on your Klingon subtitles. If we've made any mistakes or got any clarifications, we'll put them in there. So anyway, we're using D04, is it?
8.
D08. So based on which king you're using, you take 2 of the decree cards that it says in the book, pick one of them at random, and then you pick another one from the rest of the set. So we've got D08, and we're also using
D16 as random.
These ships are random, the ziggurats are random, the action tiles are random, just as we had before. We've got these 3 tiles here. So what we do is the game doesn't come with a bag, but the rules do say that you're supposed to put tiles in bags. You look at basically these cards, and that determines how many building tiles there are of each colour in the bag. And the building tiles kind of represent the priorities that the bot is using to build. We've randomly drawn the tiles out of the bag, and we've got 1 of each colour. But this is not always the case. You might have 2 of one colour. So when it's building priority number 1, it will build a brown. 2, it will build a yellow. 3, it will build white. But as I say, we could have had 2 white and a gold in there. Did we have Jaffa cakes between games? We didn't have chance. Otherwise, yeah, I should have done.
Didn't have chance? What, you said didn't have any?
Didn't have chance. I've got plenty of Jaffa cakes.
Truth comes out.
Right. What else do we need to explain for set? Oh, our setup is the same. We start with 2 gold and a random crate. The bot doesn't start with any crates, but it does have an extra gold at the start of the game. And it's got pretty much an unlimited supply of claim markers. So we've actually got claim markers from 2 different colours here, because it is going to need them. It doesn't actually collect them, really, and use them. That's a good idea, because we don't need the crates.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Skills.
Now, the bot takes the first turn in the game, which means we get to place a building on the board. Now, we don't have an urban card. We should have an urban card.
We should indeed. Just grab one at random.
Okay, so what's our 10-point objective?
We need 3 buildings here and 2 over here.
So 3 in here and 2 in here.
And that's it. We don't care about the other districts.
Okay, right.
So cool, we got a focus point.
Yep. So where do we want to put our first building?
In one of those 2 for a kickoff, yeah.
We've also set these up beforehand, so we've had a quick look at them, and we think we've maybe got an idea of what we might want to do.
Well, the ships don't look like a good strategy to focus on, because these, I mean, the mastery track one I think is going to be too difficult to try.
Buildings in ziggurats.
But that decree, because you could go for that decree if you go for all ships, but that's a different story. But this one seems easier
That
because
combos with that one.
yeah, we can get ziggurat buildings there. That needs you to have one in each ziggurat anyway, so we're going to get one claim marker in each. But then the second ziggurat gets you points for your buildings, period, and we want to get them on the board anyway.
Yeah.
So we might be ignoring this entirely and focusing on that top one. In which case, colour is pretty much irrelevant at this point, because we need one of each anyway.
Yep.
It's just a case of pick one of the two districts that we want to start in, whether it's the brown or the white, and decide on what we fancy as an early bonus. What's our crate? White?
Our crate is white.
So maybe starting where white is.
Okay. So start down here. And what? Have you got any particular preference of colour of building?
It makes no difference at this point. We need one of each anyway.
It's
only the local resource at the end of the day.
And we get the bonus for where we put it.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of bonuses are we looking at?
Well, gold is nice always. If we want a big building, the projectile ones there. Yeah, I know you love the mastery ones. I never tend to underestimate the ones where you take them off barges, because the barge one is not only giving you another resource, it's also accelerating when it will score.
Yeah.
And if we're going to focus on two districts particularly,
okay,
it may not be a bad thing to sort of have one of them score.
I mean, we could take green, and then we could build that straight away without spending gold.
That is true, actually. Yeah, I quite like that.
Okay, so we'll go here. We get a green resource, which is the highest value die of that area.
There, which now means that the ziggurat is likely to score twice this game.
That's true. That's true. And then the bot. Okay, so I'm just checking to see if we've got any official answer on how the card works. We haven't yet. Right, okay. So the bot, we'll just have a look at the bot's card. What we do to determine where the bot places its first building is we are looking at the number on the top left of the top of the first card, the leftmost card. And that is district number 2. So it's building in district number 2. Then we work out which colour of building it's going to build. And this is just for the setup, but we look at the arrow. The arrow is pointing to priority 3. So we look at priority 3, it's white. Okay, so it's building a white building in district 2. And then we look at this.
Yep.
Is it? Oh no, it's always the king.
It's always based on the king card, and the king always wants this particular king based on the blue arrow is
blue arrow,
highest,
which is the highest. So if we look in the districts, you may have noticed that there are numbers on each of the districts. It's basically building on the highest numbered space that it can, which in this district
if you do one zoom in, they'll be able to see the number easier.
17.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Top
so
corners.
You can see, this is number 17. This is the highest one. So that's where it goes.
Yep, and
that's been built, and it gets
It doesn't count these bonuses at all.
No.
What it does instead depends on the cards, but it either gets this bonus down here, on there, but because it's the star and it's a king symbol, it basically gets the bonus on its king card, which is to level up in the respective mastery.
Even in setup?
In the setup, it's specifically the king one anyway.
It's specifically the king's bonus in the setup.
Yeah, which is a mastery increase on whatever it just built.
In that colour.
Yep.
So it's gained a mastery in white.
Mm-hmm.
And where does it take her thing from? Does it matter?
Yes. Well, it goes from his white row just like we do. So.
And it doesn't get a gold because it's set up?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Add the 2 numbers at the top of the cards. Yeah, that's when it's moving.
Yeah.
But that's not for setup. For setup, the sum of those is where it starts clockwise from there. Mm. And I think that's it. It's done its setup. It's got its 3 gold. It's built its building.
Yeah.
And we are now ready to start the game. So what happens is the bot always takes the first turn. And what you do is you put this card on here. Let's just zoom in. So you put that card on here. And then you reveal the next card. And the first thing it does is it moves its architect. So you look at the top. You add up the 2 numbers together. So that's 3. We are then moving the architect 3 spaces counterclockwise from where it was. Okay? So unlike a human player, which takes a die and then moves the architect to the district based on the value of the die, it moves to where it is on that card. Then what we do is we then take a dice from this district, and it will look to see, can it take a die equaling the district where it's just moved to? So it's moved to district 2. Is there a die of value 2? No. So what it does is it takes the highest value die instead. So it's going to take this. It's going to go here. What have we missed?
No, when it picks a die, it does so according to the die value preference. It's based on the sum of the cards again. It's not based on which district it went to.
It's 3 spaces counterclockwise.
Actually, yeah, we'll do. Yeah, we'll do 3. Sorry, ignore that.
I think that's right. So the question about the urban card is, what does this mean? Building equals 2 points. Is it counters still left on the board? Is it buildings that it has built? And why? What's the significance of these building icons on here when there's 3 discs? If you look here, there's the number 3, which tells us to put 3 claim markers on here. But there's a 2 building icon there. So
there's 2 on each, yeah.
I'm really not sure how this card works and how it scores points.
From what solo games we've tried before, though, it doesn't tend to build all those markers anyway. Yeah. So hopefully it won't confuse later on.
That's what we're confused about is this. Right, so the bot has moved its architect to here, but now what it's doing is it's now taking 2 actions in District 4. So what you do is, for the first action, you look down this left-hand side here, and it will try to do action B. If it can't do B, it will do C. If it can't do C, it will do A. So action B in this district is, and you can see here what they've got is they've got the solo mode letters actually on the board already. So it's going to try and spend 2 gold to buy a ship. Now it does have 2 gold, so it will. Okay, so what we do is we spend 2 gold, and now it's going to buy a ship. Now, the ship that it will buy, there are priority rules for which ship it will buy. It will prioritise a ship where it has a house in the same column and row, none of those. Then the same row, none of those. Then the same column, none of those.
Yep.
So it will basically go from top to bottom and right to left. So it's going to claim that one there. Now, the bot doesn't get any of these special abilities whatsoever. What does it get for claiming a ship? Does it get anything for claiming a ship?
I think it just gets the ship. I mean, it would get like point bow. Oh no, it wouldn't even get that even.
Yeah, I don't think there's any actual benefit to claiming the ship for the bot.
It's more that if anything else scored for having the ships, not to mention the decree card is relevant.
Yeah. Okay.
And also when the port scores, when inevitably it gets its houses, I mean, it's still got 1 action left. Can it feasibly do that?
Yeah, so we now do the bot's second action. So for the second action, what you do is you look at the arrow, and then I think, we're assuming this is correct, you follow it to the right, and it's going to try and do action C.
That's correct, yeah.
So as its second action, it's going to do action C, which in the port is it's going to try and construct a building. Now, it can, because it does have 2 blue resources, but just uses any resource as anything. So even if it had a green die at this point, it could use a green die as if it was blue, because it's got a tub of paint and it can change the colour of its die.
All autumners cheat.
Yes, and this is how it's cheating. So it can do this, so it does. So it spends the blue die and the gold.
In this case, it's legitimate anyway. Gold and blue.
And where does it build? So we need to read the priority for building in the port and see what it says.
In the port, you will basically predominantly go for the row where he's already got a disc. So
it's either the row or the column. Is it the row first?
If it's the first house, it counts clockwise from the leftmost, bottommost house space. So from here,
clockwise.
As many spaces as the result of the sum.
Is that if it hasn't got any discs? What if it's got discs?
I don't think the disc is relevant in this case. It's more. Okay. I think it's more when you put the discs down, it has relevance for the houses. So in terms of this,
we are counting from this space, and we're going a number of spaces based on
that. So
it's 3.
Yeah.
So we go. Is that count? That counts as 0?
from there. So 1, 2, 3. Puts the hats there.
So it's taking a house.
Doesn't care about the crate.
I think it takes the crate space though.
It does not use crate tiles. It will choose a crate space before a non-crate space.
So it takes the crate space, but because the bot doesn't use crates, we remove the crate from the game and it gets a gold instead. Okay. So it's interesting that it will place discs where it's got houses, but it won't place houses where it's got discs.
No.
Right. Okay. And I think that's it. I think that is its 2 actions.
That's his 2 actions for the port.
So we've got David Digby and we've got John Albertson in the chat. Hello to you two. If you were involved in this solo mode, please help us.
According to David, he wasn't.
Okay. Well, no. Yeah. David was not involved in the solo mode. Yeah. Who was involved in the solo mode? Because we don't know how this card works at all. We can't find it in the rules anyway. But that is the 2 actions done.
Yep.
So now it's our go. Right.
he moves over.
What are we going to do? Where are we going to go?
Let's see. Well, do we want to start off in white because we've got the crate tile for
We've
it?
got the crate.
That's their building down there. Oh no, we're purple, aren't we? Yes. Okay, so we've already got a building there. We need.
If we go here, can we then go there? Yes, we can.
Yes, we can take a 5 over. Yep. So if we went there, we'd have the white die and a crate, which would allow us to build if we're willing to spend the gold. Well, unless we put it on something where we could. I mean, we could build a white building.
I think it's a good
there.
shout.
Actually, that could work. Actually, yeah. If we go there,
Go here and take the 5.
take the 5, so that we're going to go there next. If we want to build, we could pop the projectile on there to get the white resource, and then put a white building down. We need one of each anyway, and that would probably be handy because presumably we're going to do a yellow building here, aren't we?
Does it matter which one we do? Oh, in order to unlock these.
It can unlock them as well. I forget you need one of each building and one of each cigarette.
One of each building and one of each cigarette. Yeah.
So I guess it's if we want to get gold off there, which we probably want to do in priority.
Yeah. Okay.
And the easiest way to get a white resource at the moment, in fact, the only way to get a white resource at the moment, is to take it off the barge, which accelerates that for scoring again.
Which is what we want.
Once we
so that works.
There,
so our first action is we're going to place a white projectile here,
mm-hmm.
which gets us this, and we claim it. And then our second action is to build.
Yeah.
So that's going to cost us 2 white plus a white.
In fact, there's 2 reasons why that's good. Because we were thinking about grabbing that, weren't we? That ship tile.
We were.
Which we can do as a result of this.
So 2 white and a white. And we place this building on here.
Mm-hmm.
Claim marker goes back.
And all that.
The supply. We put this house on there, which gets us a gold.
Shinies.
And then because we've built a size 1 building, we spend a gold, and we're going to claim this one.
Mm.
So from now on, in the entire game, whenever we place a house, wherever we put that house, we get 2 points. That seems very good.
Yeah.
Yes, Danielle did the solo mode.
Tassini, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Responded.
Raz found something on page 26. When you move the bot architect counterclockwise, you ignore districts where they have no claim. Thank you. That's why then. Right. So, because we couldn't find the rules where it said it doesn't build.
Yes.
If it doesn't have any claim markers. But if it doesn't, once it's run out of claim markers, the architect actually skips that space. So you will never be in a situation where it is trying to build in a district where it doesn't have claim markers.
It's because in the last couple of solo goes we played, it never emptied off an entire district, so that rule never came up.
Thank you for that. So that's the first bit. The second bit, what does that building equals 2 mean?
It's got to be 2 points per building.
Yeah, but why is there 2 building icons on there? I don't understand why there's 2 building icons on there.
Because the graphic designer was on break.
I don't know. I don't know.
And yes, whenever you place a house receive 2 victory points, it is not specific to the common district.
It's whenever you put a house anywhere. Right.
Which we're going to do. We're going to spam houses. That is our.
So we're done.
That is our mission.
That was our 2 actions. That moved to there. Okay, so now we go over to the bot. So again, we are placing that card on there. We're revealing the next card. So the numbers are 2. So it's moving 2 spaces counterclockwise.
We're purple.
We're purple. Yeah. 1, 2.
Back to the port.
And then it is doing action C.
However.
Oh no, it takes a dice first. It's here. It's here.
Yeah.
So it's taking. Is there a 4? There is a 4. So it takes that one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now it is doing action C.
Which it can't do.
Which is build. Now it can't do that because there aren't any projectiles. So it doesn't do action C. Instead it does action B, which is placing a project.
This one it will have fun doing.
Now if you have a look here, we've got the king symbol. Okay? So when it's the king symbol, it's slightly different than if it's the 2 arrows. But I believe we still do that priority.
Which one?
That.
Basically the arrow is dictating everything. So on there, we're doing the B action.
Oh, sorry, it's not the king, is it?
It's not the it's not where this is. The arrow kind of dictates all.
Right.
So we're doing the B action. Yeah. And bye, David. We'll see you later.
But it's the arrow. So it's placing a priority 3.
It's placing a white. So it places this white one out.
Does it actually place that one out?
That's what it's trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you change that one though. I think you leave that one there. I think you put this one out.
But then how do these ever change?
Because it's going to get replaced by a new one. I think you put it on top of the old one.
Well, we'll cross that in a second.
Yeah.
Let's get the project out.
Okay, and because the arrow is pointing to blue, we're looking at the highest numbered space that it can build in District 2. But it can't build in 16 because that's illegal, so it builds in 15. Okay?
Yeah, you're correct. Yep, takes it on the side, you place it on top of the thing.
Builds on 15, but it doesn't get this bonus.
Nope.
You're saying it gets that bonus?
Because the arrow is not pointing to a king symbol, so it ignores this card.
Right.
It's instead just focusing on that.
So it gets 3 points, and it has claimed that area there.
And yeah, you're correct, yes. You put the next one on top of the tile.
Okay. Yes, each house bot built according to its urban card is 2 victory points at the end of the game. That's
was
what
my
we
theory,
think,
yeah.
but we don't really know.
Rulebook credits David Turksey with Nick Shaw for the solo mode.
Okay, so we need to get in contact with Nick. Yeah, I thought it was Danielle.
I've
been told that it was Danielle who did the solo mode for this game. But
Turksey likes his priority table, so...
So because we have used something from that row there, we take a new one out of this bag.
Yeah.
And we put that on top.
Yeah.
And when the bag is empty, we do something special. Right.
We refresh it, basically.
Okay.
But that's fine. Okay, so...
That was its first action. Yeah, its first action was B.
Yep, and now the second action
And now its second action, we look at the arrow, and it's pointing to A.
Yep.
But it's not the king.
So it defaults to the basic A action for
which
the bot,
is 4
which
points.
is just 4 points.
So the A action for the bot is no action, but 4 points. But if the arrow was pointing to the king, it would be that action instead.
Yeah. Essentially, it's the balancing act for the bot. I mean, for the first half of the game, you'll play this thinking this is cheese, thinking that, the bot's getting 4 points on a regular basis. It's necessary to balance out how many points you'll earn compared to the bot.
Yeah. And that's it.
So you are put on the back foot for a part of the game. As with all solo modes.
Right.
Okay, so...
How we go?
So we're at the ziggurat.
We are at the ziggurat. We're going to be placing a building in the ziggurat, or house in the ziggurat.
First off, though, where do we want to go to? The port or back to the common districts, which would probably be... We need 3 in this one, don't we? Yeah.
We do need 3 in that one by the end of the game, so we could take a 1.
So we're not interested in 2, so it's whether we want the port or 1. We haven't got any blue dice. Not a massive amount of gold either, and to be fair, we're not really caring too much about the ship tiles.
And I don't think we care much about gardens either in this game.
No, because in order to benefit from that, I mean, gardens will be good for making them slightly better, but I think we're more interested I think we're more interested in spamming this and that than we are this and the ships. So
I think we go to District 1.
Agreed.
So we're going to take green die of 1, which moves us to here. We're then going to do 2 actions in this area.
First thing's build.
The first action is use these 2 green resources. So,
well, we get 2 points for building, because we're going to do that. I would suggest a yellow for the gold.
Yeah, take a yellow, which gets us a gold.
And then which do you prefer, more gold or mastery?
I think the mastery.
You love mastery, I love gold, so we need to agree on this one.
we've got 3 gold.
You can never have too many shinies.
No, that is true.
Yeah. But, like I say, if you don't get any masteries, you won't score, period, so...
Yeah, I think we're going with mastery this time. So that moves that up to there.
To be fair, it's not going to be the first building we place on that.
It is not.
So
you gave us the 2 points for that.
Yes. Because we're probably going to ignore, except for getting a white building, we're just going to do the bare bones for that one.
Yeah.
So we're going to get 1 in each anyway. If we end up doing more ziggurat buildings, then we're probably going to spam yellow at some point anyway.
Yeah.
Or maybe even that.
Second action.
That might even be a better one. We'll cross that bridge. All right, and then the second one. Well, I don't recommend losing 2 points this early on for a mastery.
You don't think?
Well, nothing's going to score immediately. And there are other ways to get the mastery. It's more like, have we got the resources to spend for where we're going to go? Like I say, we're going to have 3 gold, yeah, but then we'll only have 1 brown die.
We could right now build another house. We could just do this action again and use 2 gold as 2 green resources.
It might not be a bad idea, because if we put it on any of them, we can get the gold back. So we'd only effectively spend 1 gold rather than 2.
Yeah.
And it gets another building out.
Should we do that?
2 points. Yeah, actually, I quite like that.
So we're going to spend 2 gold as 2 green resources to place a brown one on here, getting us 1 gold back. And we got the 2 points.
And the claim
because
marker.
It's another house. And we put a claim marker. Oh yeah, I forgot to put the claim marker on there. Well, that's actually 0. That's rubbish.
Yeah, but you we got to build it up.
Yeah, true.
Not to mention we need one of each anyway.
Very true. Very true.
You know, we're essentially going to make a decision at some point during the game as to whether we want to spam that ziggurat or that ziggurat. Because I don't think we can do both easily.
So it looks like the rulebook has an error in it in terms of who did the solo mode.
Really?
Yeah.
So nobody knows who did the solo mode?
No, I think Danielle Tashini did the solo mode.
Right.
But the rulebook says that it was David Turtsey with Nick Shaw.
The back of the book says Danielle.
No, it says solo mode Danielle Tashini.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what BGG says, but the rulebook says the solo mode is Danielle Tashini.
I think BBGG just assumes every solo mode is done by either
that's what's
Turksy
in
or
our
Ding.
That's what's in our rulebook.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in the PDF.
Yeah, the PDF.
The PDF might be different, but what's in the physical rulebook is that it is Danielle.
Right.
So unfortunately, I can't get hold of Danielle.
But we're at least going to give credit to the right person.
I could send him a message, but
credit to the right person. Okay, so we've done 2 building spam.
we've done 2 actions. That is our go done. Right. Okay. So
Next thought on the card.
so we have 3 spaces counterclockwise. So 1,
Yellow.
2, 3. Can it take a die of value 2? No. So it takes a die of the highest value. Right. The first action it wants to do is B.
Projectiles.
It's here. Can it do B?
Hang on.
No, it's here.
No, it's at the port.
It's in the port. That should be there. So B is, can it spend 2 gold to do a ship?
No.
It cannot because it doesn't have 2 gold. So what we now do is we go to C. So C and D in here are the same.
Yep.
And it's basically spending resources to place a house.
Which
now,
you can do.
Remember what I said earlier on? Resources, any resources, any colour.
And it will always spend dice in priority to gold.
Yeah.
So in this case, it will simply just spend
those 2 dice. So Michael is saying the numbers under the discs indicate how many discs are meant to go. Yep. Yeah, we've worked that out. That's the easy bit. What we don't know is why there are 2 building icons
in each district. And how that affects the 2 points per building.
Yeah,
is like...
that's the bit we don't know.
Yeah, the book doesn't have any... doesn't even picture the card.
No.
Okay, so it's done that. So it's going to build a building on there. So it's going to follow the method on there. So
we
this
knew
is
what
not...
it did for the first one. What does it do for the next one?
It uses the procedure above as we did before, except now it counts from its furthest house instead. So essentially, that's the new starting point.
From this one.
And essentially going like 1, 2...
It's going 3. So 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it removes that. That's gone from the game, and it gets another gold.
Gets a gold. Cool.
That was its first action.
Yep. And then following
its second
the arrow...
action, we follow the arrow, which is A. But this time, the arrow is pointing at the king.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just getting 4 points, it gets a gold and 2 points.
Yep. Which is nice, because when it points at the king, that's usually the harder one to do, but A is nice regardless.
2 points for red.
I got to remember that the bot is red, not me.
The bot is red.
I never played purple, what's this?
And I think that's it. I think that's its 2 actions. Again, if we're doing anything wrong...
Tell us.
Tell us.
Solo AI rules are always a minefield for errors.
Yeah. I have tried contacting Board and Dice this afternoon to clarify some things, but unfortunately they haven't got back to me. So we're doing the best we can with what we've got. And as I say, if it's wrong, we'll put Klingon subtitles in.
2
later.
brains plus coffee.
Right. Our go.
Mm-hmm. So yellow die first. So 4 is port. Again, we're not...
We're here.
I'm not red.
You're purple.
I don't usually play red either. That's to say, this game doesn't have my 2 favourite colours for players.
We need to build...
Right.
3 buildings in this district by the end of the game.
Which should be doable easily enough. But first off, 1, 2, or 3. So we've got all the common districts, or if we want to go to any of the others, we need to hit 6. So, do we want to stick around? Or do we want to revisit white again?
I think we want to stay here for a bit, don't we?
It works. There's not a huge amount of bonuses for projectiles over there, apart from the gold bits, whereas here you've got a bit more flexibility. We don't... It's too soon to go back to the ziggurat. I mean, I bet we can probably end with the ziggurat white building for that once we've got our 3 buildings. And
there's no rush on getting that, is there?
No,
because
no,
that
is true. That is true. 12 points is 12 points. It doesn't get you any extra bonuses.
The bot's not going to get the decree cards, or does it?
I think it can.
Okay.
I thought it could.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't think it ever does, but
We need to keep an eye on that then.
yeah, I don't think it will build fast enough. Bear in mind, it's got to go in here as well. So, but you're right. Yeah, it's just 12 points. It doesn't get you any extra nice kit on top, so we can take our time. So we're gonna get a brown dye. We've got some gold. We don't have a lot of other resources though, apart from a white. If we flip the crate over, maybe we should just spam some projectiles
We could.
and just get some nice bonuses.
Preferences of colours?
What do we need? We need a yellow building at some point.
Because of that.
Yes. So we might as well at least make it yellow.
And we can go anywhere.
We can go anywhere, and I probably recommend having 2 projectiles down, so doing the action twice, because I just don't think we've got the resources to build.
And we want small buildings because we need to get 3 buildings, so we probably want small ones.
Yeah, size 2 max.
So if we go on here...
I suppose, yeah, we could do 2 separate colours.
Oh, we need to choose where we're going next.
Yeah.
We haven't done that yet.
As I say, I don't think the ziggurat's right, and we're just not doing
Do we want to go back here?
I'd say best. I mean,
Because then we're running it out of dice, which is going to score us points.
Yeah.
So we take a 3.
Not to mention we could trigger it and get another gold. It's just we can ignore that second district. We got no reason to build there.
So
it doesn't give us anything. Let's
first action, we're placing a yellow project on there, taking this.
It's 2 brown, nice. That's preparation for later.
Claim markers.
We can either put the projectile out different colour on
Get the claim marker and put,
or
we could do that
action to flip the crate over for white, which actually, given that we're going to the white section, might not be a bad idea.
Okay, let's do it. We'll pick that action, we flip over a crate tile, we get a claim marker.
Yep.
Got it.
Strepsils. There you go.
Okay, that's our 2 actions done. That moves over here.
Nothing new.
Nothing new. No other theories about the urban card. Right.
I think they've given up on that now.
I think we've given up on that. There obviously isn't much on BGG. I'm surprised that
there isn't. BGG's got about like 3 files and
because there's a number of other content creators that have covered this game a couple of months ago, but nobody really does the solo modes.
Only if a solo creator has taken the game would they have done it. And even then, the only people who have done any coverage on this are the ones who actually decided to buy a copy at Essen.
Right.
Which weren't many.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of them. So.
I don't think anybody has covered the solo mode of this game on video before. This might be the first one.
Yeah.
So, there we go.
So send it.
Trailblazers.
Okay.
3 spaces. 1,
2,
3.
Okay.
Can it take a die of value 5?
No.
So it takes a die of value 6. Right. The first action it wants to do is B.
Projectiles.
Which is, it's here, isn't it?
Yes. And
so
it can always do projectiles.
To do a projectile, and the arrow is telling me that it's the highest numbered space and it is yellow. So it wants to place a yellow on the highest numbered space, which is there.
Yeah.
That's legal.
It's legal.
So that goes on there.
Right.
Again, we're having to mix colours because the AI doesn't have enough of them. And instead of getting that bonus,
gets a gold.
It gets that bonus, which is a gold.
Yeah, it's like the only way the bot ever gets gardens as well, because several of the bot autumn cards have got gardens as their thing.
Okay, so that's its first action. So that was B.
And after doing that,
oh yeah, it does that thing.
Yeah, left or right?
Left.
So brown now replaces that one. There's one more technically in the bag.
And then when that comes out, we shuffle them all in and deal 3 new ones.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because we started off with these particular decree cards, there's not a lot of projectiles in the bag.
Yeah.
Compared to if both of them had a lot of buildings on them. So that was
second
its first
action.
thing.
So the arrow is pointing at C.
So now it's going to attempt.
It's going to attempt to build.
It's got more than enough resources.
It does have enough resources, so it does build. But where does it build?
Where does it build? It's not the king symbol, so it's a little bit easier. So it will first go for the largest building possible.
They're
if there
both
is
the same
one.
size.
They're both the same. It will go for the building matching the colour of their most advanced mastery marker. So white.
Oh, right. Okay. So because it's going to get more points for white, it will try and build white over yellow.
Which is no different from a human would do it.
Okay. And then does it pay as normal?
Yes, it definitely still pays as normal, like resources-wise.
So it's paying 2 yellow and a white.
Mm-hmm.
So it pays the yellow, and it will only pay gold if there's nothing else.
Yeah, once it's used up its dice, it will use gold.
It'll then use gold. Okay.
So 1.
So that comes off.
2. And that.
That comes off.
So remove a claim marker from the corresponding district on the urban card.
That's white. So does it get... Oh, no, it doesn't get that.
Doesn't get those.
So it's now removing this one.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I can swap that for that one, just so it looks nicer.
Yeah. On for that. And if the bot has the required amount of gold, it also claims a ship following the ship preference rules.
It does have the required amount of gold. It's a size 1 building.
So 1 more gold.
So it goes for this one.
Yes.
No, it can't, because that's a number 2.
Yeah, it has to go for...
It can only go for that one or that one.
One that is both in a row and column with at least one of its houses.
It's that one.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's still got to be legal.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Grabs one of those. And I think
that's it. That's its 2 actions. So its first action was B and its second action was C. And we are done. Okay. Right. Mark is saying, the icons on the urban must relate to the scoring for the Automa buildings. It is the same concept as the multiplayer rules as per the example on page 36.
Yeah. That's what is
that helping us?
Well, it's just 2 per building. I mean, we say because the thing is, our urban cards score us 10 for 5 buildings effectively.
Yeah. And on there is 10 buildings.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the printing of the icon is bad. I know we have to take liberties.
So it can score 20 points. Is that what we're saying?
If it feasibly got all its things out, yes, but it usually doesn't come anywhere close to that.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there might be a section in the rules missing on how that card works.
Oh, definitely. Oh, there is.
We can't quite work it out.
We can only go by what's on the card. There's no other official wording on it.
Well, we will see. Yeah, two. I would take it as it scores 2 buildings per district at 2 points each.
Oh, yeah, two per building. Sorry, yeah, not 2 per district per building.
2 per building per district?
No, I would just put 2 points per building. It's not going to get 10 buildings out.
I don't know, it might.
Well, put it this way, it didn't come close to that in my last solo game, yeah.
Anyway, hopefully, Boredom Dice will be able to pop into the chat.
Apparently another solo playthrough of the game. Curious what that might be, but...
Yeah. As in limited to 2 per district maximum. Could be, but...
That could be, but as I say, without it in the rulebook, we just speculate.
Yeah. We are just guessing. Right. Where are we up to?
Well, it just built for action... It put a projectile down, and then it did action C. So it's done.
And then it built. So
it's done.
It's done. So that moves to there. Right, out we go. So we are currently here. And we are about to take another die. So are we going back to 1? I think we want to go back to 1, don't we?
Well, if it's a choice between the 2, definitely,
yeah. So we go back to 1. And now what 2 actions do we want to do in this area? Do we want to build again?
Over that. Yeah. I was going to say, bot gets these column bonuses, gets the gold, doesn't get
the claim marker.
No, because when it gets claim markers, it just gets a VP normally, but it ignores that one, so we did that right. Okay, so we're down there. So we have a white crate and a white die.
We have the 2 white, and we have gold or brown if we wanted to build another.
Probably hang on to the brown, because we're about to act in brown soon anyway.
Are we removing the discs as the urban card? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So the bot has built 1 house, and we have removed a disc. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put them separate so you can see them.
Oh yeah, because we're stacking them at this point. Yeah. Mark's confirmed them as well.
There you go. So yes, we did remove the disc from there. That's 3 on each. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can do. I mean, brown is easier, but then we're about to act in District 1, so having a lot of brown dice is probably handy. So maybe using the gold and picking the building that we fancy. Are we going to build that yellow house when we go back there?
Probably.
All right, so that gives us the 3 colour buildings, so we've got flexibility really. In that case, I'm not too fussed about which colour, apart from obviously emptying the columns.
I mean, I quite like this as well. If we can get this up to 4 and just build a dozen size 1 buildings.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because we had to basically make a decision as to whether we were spamming this or this, and at the rate we're going, yeah, I think that probably is better. I mean, that is common districts only, but it's still probably better than that.
I think so.
In which case, any colour's fine, because we've already, as long as we build that yellow, we've already got the free. So we can do any colour we like, but I would say yellow or white based on our player board.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get a claim marker back, which we're going to...
We'll go yellow.
What do you fancy as a bonus?
Well, we've got gold or we've got mastery.
When are we going to be scoring for white? Not too long.
Unless we do take a blue die and then go over here.
We haven't got much use for the ports, so that's the thing. We've got the best ship tile for the strategy we're doing. I mean, the only other one that benefits putting our houses out in general is the one that lets us do a gardening action, which we haven't got the resources for. Perhaps it's time to get a mastery. Yeah, because what we got.
Anyone we want.
Yeah, because we've only got a white so far, and we're gonna build. If we're gonna do a yellow now, let's get yellow up.
Okay.
Actually, no, we've already got yellow. We're purple. Well, like I said, we can pick a mastery.
Go for it.
White. Here we go.
So that's our first action, is to place a projectile. Our second action is that one.
We're not going to build it then.
I don't think we're going to.
We've got the crate tile and a white die.
We could build it.
Only costs 1 gold. I guess the question is, do we need 2 at this point? I suppose there's no rush, because all that's getting us is another 2 points. Although it does mean... I mean, we're going to build a yellow there, or we're going to build that yellow there. Either way. Although, it doesn't matter, we've got 2 brown dice. So it's going to cost us a gold to build either or these anyway.
Yeah.
So we only need to build 1. I'm probably actually on the verge of saying we go for that now, because we are short of claim markers.
Yes. So we'll get 2 points and 2 claim markers for our second action.
2 pills.
Okay.
The requirement is to have 2 buildings in each of the indicated districts, and as long as that requires... Well, as I say...
That sounds good.
It sounds good. We're just, it's pick your favourite speculation, chaps. So.
I mean, yeah, that does sound good, because that's the way these cards work. The way these cards work is you have to have 3 in there and you have to have 2 in there.
Yeah.
So based on that, it has to have 2 in each. And if it does have 2 in each, it gets 2 points per building. That's what we're going to go with.
Yeah.
We're going to go with that as a rule. There we go.
Go with that. Cue this down as another reason why we advocate good rulebooks.
Next, it is the Automa.
Automa.
3 spaces counterclockwise.
We're going to give him a name. Automna's a horrible name.
Well, it's Gulgabot.
Gilgamesh.
1, 2.
Not even Gilgamesh.
Okay. Can it take a die of value 3 from here? Yeah. No.
I'm calling it Tassini. It's his game. We're battling Tassini.
Right. So its first action is C.
Yep. So C, he's
going to... C in here is build.
Could build ours.
Can it?
I can't.
It can't.
Actually, has it taken a die yet? It's taken a die yet.
It has taken a die. Oh, no, so it's here. It's here. Action C in here is, can it spend 2 green resources to place a house?
Yes.
It can, so it does. And we now need to read the priorities on Ziggurat building.
The Ziggurat's a relatively straightforward one. It's basically...
So the arrow is pointing to 1. 1 is brown, so I think it builds a brown building, is that right?
Yeah, essentially. The colour is chosen based on the colour of the projectile next to the current number. And
the current number is 1, because the arrow's pointing to 1.
And it will favour mastery over gold in terms of bonuses.
So it takes that, it gets a gold because of that, and it goes here and gets a mastery. So it's gained a brown mastery.
Yep.
It's also gained a gold, and it puts one of its claim markers...
On there.
On there,
yep. And we remove a marker from the Ziggurat district because it's urban card.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, doke.
That was its first action.
Yep. I think it's going to be defaulting to A at this point.
Its second action is B.
Which it can't do. Because,
there isn't a B in here, is there?
In the Ziggurat district, if it gets B, it counts as action C, basically. So in the Ziggurat district, it can only do this, or its default A action. There's no other action it can physically perform.
So it goes to B, it goes to C. It can't do C because it doesn't have 2 green
resources at all.
It goes to D. It can't do that. So it goes to its default A action, which, because the arrow is not pointing to the king, is 4 points. Is that right?
Yes.
4 points for red then.
Yes, because I was looking at that, but that's the project tiles one. So yes, it's cheese
4
points
for red. Okay. And then it's done, and then that moves to there. Right. Our go. We are in District 1. Where do we want to go next? We can either stay in 1 or go to 2. I'm not really interested in going to 2.
Well, no, because the thing is that we don't want that to score because it's got all of Red's buildings in it.
Yeah.
And we have no use for it for our urban card. So
we can stay in
if
1.
the bot wants to score for District 2, let it work for itself.
Yeah, stay in 1, and then next turn take the 2, but go on one of these spaces and move the architect somewhere else.
Mm.
So that works.
Yeah, or spend a gold to change the value of the die, either way.
Take the 1, stay where we are. Right, 2 actions here.
A bit more central, right. So 2 actions there. We still got our crate. We didn't use the crate last time, did we? Yeah, because we didn't build. So that action's no good. I would say that we probably want to... We haven't got any resources to get gardens, though. That's the only thing. Not that we desperately need gardens, but we want to make it... Well, actually saying that, yeah, we don't really care about gardens. We just want to spam buildings. Spam, spam, spam. Egg and spam.
Lots and lots of small buildings.
Lots of building spam.
I mean, how about we place a projectile on... Oh, no, because that empties that. We don't want
Yeah, we do not want to touch that part.
We go here.
Just get a resource,
We go here to get a resource, to get the yellow, to allow us to build that and save our gold.
We're here next turn, aren't we? Yeah, that's fine, so we don't need to cover the Arctic space yet. Yeah, I say let's just get some resources.
So first action, we'll put a project here.
Yep. So where do we intend to go eventually?
Brown.
Once we're sick and tired of this space, are we going to head back to white or somewhere else? Because that affects which die we...
I think we take a yellow one.
Actually, yeah, just take the die for wherever we're building. Yeah.
But I think we put brown on there, which gets us a die from there.
Mm-hmm.
Put a claim marker on it. And then our second action, we build here, which costs us 2 brown.
Yeah, we need to get a yellow
and a gold. Yellow. Right, so that converts that into that.
Yep.
Have
marker
that
back to here. However, taking a yellow building off
gets
now,
us a claim.
Have it
so
back.
Have that back. We now can, if we want to, spend a gold to claim a size 1 building.
Although, for most important, 2 points, we're not forgetting that.
Do we want to bother? No.
I honestly don't.
I don't think we do.
Actually, what's the other one? If you build a building, 2 points for opponent's marker, that's not going to help. No.
I think we're going to ignore ships in this game and see what happens.
No. Let the bots sail off to Lord knows where. Tassini obviously likes sailing.
So that was our first action. That was our
build.
second action.
We are done.
We are done. Okay.
And we're staying put. So, now Tassini takes a turn.
It's moving 2 spaces counterclockwise.
Back to the ziggurat. That's not where
and now it's doing actions here.
Actually, no. Let him drain the green dice. That's
it's good for us. First action it wants to do is B, which is place a project. So it can.
Mm-hmm.
So it's trying to place a brown project on the lowest numbered space.
Yes, because there's no other...
Which is
what? So it puts it there. Bit of a lame spot, but... Solve that.
Okay. Is that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Then the arrow is pointing to C.
So it will try to build.
It will try to build.
Has it taken a die? No, it hasn't.
Oh, it hasn't taken a die. It takes the 2.
What was it, 2? So it takes the 2.
It takes the 2.
So that's fine. So it still can't build.
Oh, no, it can. It can build ours.
Good point. Yes, it has.
Is that what it's going to do?
Well, it'll have to, because it will definitely build. It's just the priority will essentially go right.
Okay.
Yeah, because it will go for the largest building first.
Oh, that's a good point. Bot has built 2 houses in the port. Thank you. We forgot to remove those 2.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, keep us on our toes.
Yep, does build a few of them there. But yeah, its priority would be the largest building, which doesn't matter in that case. The building matching the colour of the bot's most advanced mastery marker, which would be white, which doesn't matter in this... Oh no, it has got a brown.
I mean, the fact is, it cannot build...
But it can't build that.
It cannot build this one.
Yeah, the colour of the projectile next to the current number, brown. If no building can be built in that colour, the bot uses the next number's tile colour, cycling back to 1 is necessary. That's weird.
I think it builds this one.
I think it has to build the yellow one, because it can't physically build anything else. There's nothing saying that the bot never builds your buildings, so...
Okay.
I think it just prioritises its own to begin with. But because it can't, yeah, it would essentially, if no building can be built in that colour, it uses the next number tile's colour. So because it couldn't do.
There's no yellow up there. So does it want to build yellow?
It's true. But then it would also at least do the largest building consisting of the most projectiles, and either way, both of them are the largest. The only one that could physically build of the largest is yellow.
Okay, so we're going to go for it again. If it's wrong, apologies, but we're going to get it to build this one. So that costs it 2 white resources, which is its white and its gold.
Mm-hmm.
It removes our claim marker, which we get back, and we gain a yellow mastery because of that. And that goes there. And it puts its yellow house on here, which gets it a gold. Oh, it needs to spend those 2 things.
Yeah.
And then it gets a gold. And that's gone on there. Okay. Was that its first action? No, its first action was to place this projectile. Second action was to build.
Mm-hmm.
It's done.
It built our building.
I've moved us up on the
we've done that, so
yep.
Good.
Right, our go.
Yep. We removed a thing from here.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
It's building more houses than this, so again, it didn't mind.
We take the 2. We move the architect to here. But if we're going to place a projectile on here, we can move it to wherever we want to. Is what I'm thinking.
It's probably, as much as it's not the best bonus to cover, it's that, or we get stuck at yellow and we don't want to go to yellow.
We don't need to go to yellow at all.
Exactly, and we don't want to make him score.
And we do
white.
need to put another building down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we accept that.
Are we going to put a separate 1-level building down, or are we going to extend the brown?
I don't know why we need bigger buildings, because of, if this is going to be our objective, that's kind of what we want to do.
Yeah, because it's not going to gain us any extra
so
points.
I think we stick a white one down and stick it just to here.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Why not?
Especially as we've got the white dice.
That allows us to move this. Where do we want to move it to?
If we got a spare gold and we go to the green, we can accelerate that scoring and
yeah.
get a house down to make that bigger.
Well, the house won't score for that. The buildings score for this.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like we get another claim marker down there, increasing the points. Alternatively, we get the white down because we can and nab that 12-pointer.
I think go for this next turn.
Yeah, probably actually, yeah.
So we've used that ability to go there, and then our second action is to build.
It could also actually get us our brown mastery up there as well. Yeah.
Second action build. So it costs 2 brown.
2 brown and use a crate. Let's build a white.
I'll use this.
Well, why not use the crate?
Because we're going to lose the white soon.
And then we go up on the white mastery.
Okay, yeah, use the crate.
Not the end of the world.
So we build this.
And in any case, we're not going to lose that just yet.
So that goes on
nobody's there.
That goes over there. The white building goes on, and we get that back.
Yep.
And we can pay a gold to claim a size 1 ship, which we don't want to do.
But we get 2 points for putting a house out.
We got 2 points for putting a house down. Right, that's our 2 actions done. Okay. Think we're good?
We're definitely playing a rush strategy. Because we're spamming the buildings, getting those down, but we're trying to accelerate the scoring in 3 separate districts as fast as possible.
It's not moving. So it's staying on the green barge.
Well, great. We accelerate even faster.
So it tries to do C.
So first stop.
Oh, it takes a die.
Takes the highest die.
It can do C. Because it does have 2 green. So it does.
Gold and die.
It's placing a house in the ziggurat, so I'm going to remove that now before we forget. Now, where does it go? Its arrow is pointing to 2. 2 is brown.
So preferably a
places
building.
Brown.
Favouring the mastery
Favouring the mastery. So
Boost.
it gets the brown mastery.
Stole the mastery increase.
Right, then its second action is arrow, which is C. It can't do C, so it does D. Can't do D, so it does A.
Which is back to the 4
points. Which is 4 points because the arrow is not pointing to the king.
Jeez.
Okay. Done.
Yeah. Ziggurat's nice and easy with the bot.
Our go.
And the bot is staying there, so now...
We take the 2. That moves to over here. Whether we want that or not.
I actually think it's worth spending the gold to get somewhere else. We just don't want the yellow to do anything.
We spend a gold to move somewhere else.
Yeah. Although, the only thing is, as much as we don't necessarily want to score, he's not like he's getting very much for it. Because there's no gardens, there's no other multipliers than that.
For we don't need to build there.
No, but we could grab a bonus projectile thing that we might like there. Do we have any use for those?
Nope.
In that case, I'll spend the gold and go somewhere else then.
Let's go here.
Accelerate it super fast.
Yeah.
That or the white one.
Well, actually, no, because here's a 2, which sends us back here.
So how about that one, which sends us over there, and then we worry about that in a minute.
Nice. Okay, we'll do that.
Assuming that the architect doesn't go there and nick it first anyway.
So we've spent a gold to alter our dice and go there.
Yeah.
Right. Now we're doing 2 actions up here. And the first action is green and a gold.
Well, we don't necessarily have to use the gold. Because we're only going to build one house here, right? So we either do the mastery, but instead we could move the architect where we want and take a green die.
Keep the gold. Choose that action. Yeah.
Yeah, as I say, we keep the gold for not having to spend it to go elsewhere.
So first action, use that, which moves the architect to where we want and take the green die. And then the second action is
spend the 2 green die. We save ourselves some gold.
To build a house, and it's going to be the brown house.
Oh yeah, because we want the claim marker, yeah.
So that gets us 2 points. And we'll put a claim marker on there. And now, at the end of our turn, we do ziggurat scoring.
Mm-hmm. Ziggurat scoring. So that is ignored. We've got nothing points. Anyway. That's just literally there for the decree card.
3 points for every building. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 buildings.
For 12.
That's 12 points. It's not bad at this stage in the game.
Well, no, and hopefully we can get it to... Well, we're going to get it once more this game anyway.
That seems really good.
Well, it makes you want to build tiny buildings. That's the thing. So it requires a bit of juggling around. And he gets 2 for each there. So 1, 2, 3, 6.
Oh, you're going to give it 8 points as well?
Oh, it's got to score as well, I'm afraid.
Okay, if you insist.
So we're playing by the rules, Mr. Gaming Rules.
Rules. Schmools.
Gaming schmools vids, is it?
Okay. Right. So now it's its go.
Yeah.
So we're drawing another card for it. It is moving 1. Is there a number 1? There is a number 1, so it takes a number 1.
Well, this is the other thing. I figured if he's going to go there first, let him drain that, let it score anyway, and then it's got a new fresh set of dice.
First action it wants to do is D.
D.
We've not done this before. It wants the garden.
But it doesn't have a garden.
So, but can it still do the action?
Nope. If the bot acts in the common district and it has no garden tiles, it cannot perform this action. That's the thing. If it has at least 1 garden tile, it may place up to 3 garden tiles. If it is possible and the bot has any resources or gold and 1 or 2 garden tiles, it can buy and place garden tiles as part of the gardening action. So as long as the first key phrase is that if the bot acts in the common district and has no garden tiles, it can't do the action. So, but if it has at least 1, then it can and then can spend more.
Right. So it doesn't do action D, it goes to action C, which is building. It can't build because it doesn't have the resources.
Correct.
So we go to action B,
projectile,
where it places a projectile.
Do that.
The arrow is pointing to the king. So for the first time, we are seeing what happens when it places a projectile when the arrow is pointing to the king, which is this here. So do you want to read this out for our bot? Because this is different for each of the 4 bots.
Yeah, so in this bot's case, it places in priority order. So adjacent to the largest cluster of projectiles, which is currently the brown.
So that's what it does.
Yeah, it will do that one.
It's trying to expand the size of this one.
Mm-hmm. And it will go on the highest numbered space between legal spaces.
Which is the 8.
Mm-hmm. It covers a bonus.
So it gets that.
It gets the mastery increase because it's a king one.
So it increases its mastery in whatever it's the least of.
Yes.
Which is that one.
Bump.
Right, okay.
Gets a VP because it does still get... It gets 1 VP for claim markers. It doesn't gain extra claim markers.
Oh, right. Okay. So does it not get the 1 VP for...
No, it specifically says it ignores those ones.
Oh, right. Okay.
But it's like if it gets them for any other reason.
Right. Okay. What's next?
What's next? That
was his first action.
That was his first
Yeah, his first action because it couldn't do that, went to that.
Well, now it will go to
second
C.
Second action, it goes to C.
Which it still
building,
can't do.
Still can't do. D.
Which it can't do.
B.
More projectiles.
And again, the arrow is pointing to the king. So we do it again. So it's increasing the size of this. A highest numbered space. No bonus. Done.
I was going to say, I didn't know what that number was. Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, no other bonus.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just trying to make a giant building.
Oh, except we're doing it in here and we shouldn't be doing it in here. No, nobody's pointed that out.
Where were you on that one, chat?
We're doing it wrong again. Oh.
This is a thing. You've got to move the architect, but you've got the assistant where the actions happen. It would be nice to be able to distinguish it a little bit
It's
easier.
because that is a bigger meeple.
You think you're doing the actions where the big meeple is.
It's not that. Right. What do we need to undo?
Take that as a way of teaching you how that card works, all right?
Yeah. It was that.
Although Ra has made a good point. We emptied the
thank you. And it loses a point.
And with that,
it loses a point because it didn't get the thing.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, I think we've successfully undone that. So, meanwhile, it's doing action D here.
Yeah. This will be much simpler.
So it's doing action C,
which it
can't. So it does action B, which doesn't exist.
So it just defaults to A.
So it defaults to A, which the arrow is pointing at the king.
So it's a gold and 2
So it gets
things,
a gold and 2 points.
which is now relevant because for its second action,
so
it
gets
can
2
now,
points.
It now can.
For its second action,
do
it's
C.
now doing C, which it now does because it's spending that and that.
Mm.
Now, at this point, it is doing action C, and the arrow is pointing at the king.
Things like that.
So
I don't think the king marker is relevant for that section. Like,
okay, so
I think that's more common. I think that's more common
it's
district.
just number 1, which is brown.
If the box acts in the ziggurat district, it just places a house paying its cost. Normal rules based on the color of the projectile next to the current number.
That goes there.
So he's still going for the brown.
In fact, it's. Oh no, it can't.
What?
It's already got 2 houses in that district. I think we might have broken it. It shouldn't be building in here.
Right.
Because it's already got 2 houses in here. It's used all of the houses.
That is true.
So, I think when we were counting spaces, we're not going to change it now, but I think we might have done something wrong.
Mm.
I think it should now be ignoring this area.
Makes sense.
Because it's already built the number of houses it wanted to in this area.
Yeah.
So it now should ignore this area completely. I think we forgot that. But anyway, we're going to do that, and we'll fix it for next time.
Yeah.
So it's now not going to go here, and it's also not going to go here, because it has built all of the houses that it wants to build
on the other ones
in those areas.
Which is fine. We're just giving it an extra house there.
Okay. Our go.
Which will be a much simpler affair.
We are moving to 1. Well, we're taking that die to move to 1.
Yep.
And now we're doing actions here.
Yep. Little dude.
Little dude. Right. What were the 2 actions that we were going to do here?
Certainly, we could build his brown.
We could build his brown building.
Means we wouldn't have to find a brown resource anywhere.
We could totally build that.
Yeah, and what does it get? It gets a red, brown mastery, whatever. It hasn't even got any. Oh, it's
Should
got
we do
1
it?
brown building. Yeah, what we do?
So we're going to build its building at a cost of 2 white. So it gets a brown mastery.
Design.
But we get a brown building, which gets us 2 points.
And does that empty the column?
No. Oh, sorry, it's emptied that column. Yes, so we get a claim. We did that earlier, actually.
Oh, right.
I think I forgot that.
Well, we have a ship.
Oh, and it's a ship.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Ah.
Any of them useful. I mean, we're not fussed about the gardening one. We're not going to the port anytime soon.
Well, why don't we go for this? Because it might be that.
Well, we've only got
Or
one crate
that,
tile.
because it might be that. I think go here.
Yeah, project.
Because this might actually be quite good.
Yeah, put a project tile down, spend a resource, get a mastery.
Yeah.
That seems good to me.
Yeah, that might be good. Okay, so we should have done that earlier. I forgot that.
So we're building houses.
There's a lot
so
going
quick.
on.
There is, and as I say, there's no pictorial examples in the solo section of the rulebook, which
Could do with
would be
being
handy. Yeah. You have to read a wall of text.
That was
and
our
go
first
from
action.
that.
Our second action. Can't do that. Can't do that. We could do that. But I'm thinking we do that.
Are we short on claim markers? Or 2 points is 2 points? Nothing to sneeze at. And we're not going to come back there for a little while at this rate. How many buildings do we need there? Oh, we've got our 2 at least.
We've got our 2 in here.
So we want to go back there to get a 3rd, which is fine.
We need to go in here and finish 1, and then we've done with our end game scoring card.
And then we got to figure out what to do with the rest of the game.
Well, we're going to get that.
Yeah.
I just spam lots of... Well, we need to go there and put one of those in.
Yeah.
We need to go there and put one of those in, and then we just spam small buildings everywhere.
Port's a good one for that.
And get a bazillion points.
Oh, yeah, because they come off the colourless one anyway. Okay. That sounds good to me.
2 points and 2 clone markers. Okay.
So
we are
now,
done. We now score that area. We get a gold. Anybody with white dice returns them, and now we get... So our brown buildings aren't worth anything, unfortunately.
Nope.
Our white building is worth 1. Woohoo! And his red building, his yellow building is worth... nothing.
Yeah,
fantastic.
We don't care about the scoring district, we just care about putting stuff there in the first place. Would it warrant its own rule book for the solo? Yes. With pictures.
It's big enough. Yeah.
It takes up a good amount of space between the multiplayer rules and
the appendix.
I would have liked to have seen the solo taken out, more pictures, separate book, nice and done.
Right.
Because it's not like the rest of the books is devoid of pictures. The rest of the books got pictures. It's just for some reason the solo mode didn't have the budget.
Okay, so 3 spaces counterclockwise, ignoring
blue and green.
It's not going to those 2 at all.
Right.
So it's basically just cycling between these now.
Which makes sense because it's done what it wants to do in those
1, 2,
buildings.
3.
Its urban card wants it to do 2 in everything. So once it's done 2 in those, why would it spam it?
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Exactly. Okay. So it takes that die.
Oh, look, another scoring.
And another scoring, yeah. And it is doing action C first, which is building, which it can't do.
It's taking the brown dice,
So it does action B, which is placing a project.
Which it definitely can do.
And the arrow is pointing to the king. So it now is the thing we did earlier on. It goes there, because that's the highest...
Conveniently, because it's pointing to a king, yeah.
Highest number space.
Highest number space, highest cluster of tiles.
Yeah, which goes on there. And the bonus it gets...
And...
It's B, isn't it? Yeah, so it gets a mastery. So it's that one.
What was it? And after bot places a project, draw... Right, so that would normally draw out of there, because whether it's king or not, it still does it.
Does it?
Yeah, I say after, it doesn't matter whether it's the king or not. After it places a project, draw a new project tile from the bag.
And what do you put it over?
The current number.
But the current number is 1.
Yeah. But at this point, it would empty the bag.
The bag is now empty.
Yes, so when the bag becomes empty, you reset the auto on the project tiles, which basically means place all of these back in the bag.
And draw 3 new ones.
And draw 3 new ones, yeah. So,
right. Okay.
Which is the fun bit.
Okay, so if you do that...
Shovel under the table.
I will go to the second action, which is D, which is gardening, which it doesn't do because it hasn't got a garden. So
it hasn't managed to pick up a garden until, yeah.
Which it can't do. So it goes to B.
More
and
projects.
It does the thing that it was doing earlier on.
Mm-hmm. Right, so 1, 2, 3.
Right. But now we need to replace the number 1 with a new one. There you go. Let's pop them there just because I can't see them.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Right, so it's done. And now we score this area. So it gets the gold.
More scoring.
Everybody loses brown dice. We have a yellow that's worth 1 and a white which is worth 1.
Yay,
2
we
points.
actually like that district.
Woo!
Compared to the multiplayer game we had earlier, this is like the most boring scoring that we're doing in any districts. Yeah.
It does, which means it gains a mastery in brown.
It likes its brown.
Yeah, this is a weird game. I'm sure it's because of the choices that we've made, because of the tiles that have come out.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying about the variability earlier on. It would be a very different game if we had different tiles come out.
Yeah.
Right, our go. We want to score this as many times as possible now.
Well, it's going to score 1 at the end of the game, and there's only 2 more scorings left. So green is a potential, but we got to run the risk of yellow and blue. Actually, no, not necessarily blue, because bot's not going to go to blue anymore.
No.
So the bot could drain yellow out quite quick.
Yeah, but
so
that's okay.
Question is, can we drain green out faster?
Are we saying we go here and build something? Maybe build that?
He doesn't score very much for that.
No, we haven't got the resources either.
No.
Well, we could.
No, it's more about getting the green dice off the board. Like, the faster we can drain that,
yeah,
the better. So that So that the intention is that the final 2 districts that are going to score before the final scoring are those 2.
Yeah.
Which is more than likely.
So we go there, take that.
Yep.
We're now doing actions here.
Mm-hmm.
So what 2 actions are we doing here?
Can we get any resources that help us with the green one? Because at the moment we're going to spend the gold. Although, that allows us to get another green, so that helps.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much. Well, can we build that with the gold we have?
Oh, we could, but do we really want to build a size 3 building that's worth no points?
Apart from the 2, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's worth no points.
I mean, it's next to a garden, so it'd be size 4, worth no points.
Worth no points.
But if we were to build
the bot is not going to build that
it would cost us
soon.
3 brown. So we could, but it would use most of our gold.
Yeah, it doesn't seem worth it for 2 points. Probably just project tiles, because again, we're trying to accelerate the game as fast as possible. So we have no interest in wasting time gardening, and we have no interest in giant buildings. So we either just put some more single buildings out.
Projectile on here.
Projectile for gold is always good.
Projectile there gets us a gold.
And
then...
I mean, if we want to spend 2 gold, we can build said building just for 2 points more, but... How many... Oh, say now, we do need a 3rd building there for the urban card.
We do. So shall we just build it?
Let's get it. Yeah, let's get it done.
So we spend 2 brown and a yellow, so brown and 2 gold.
Mm-hmm.
And we build that.
Build that. Get our 2 points.
That's the yellow building.
Have a yellow building there.
That goes on there. Oh.
So we're 1 off there. We're going to get that in the ziggurat, which is nice.
We got the 2 points for building the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's going to be a ziggurat building. That's going to be it. That's going to be 22 points we gain from putting a ziggurat building out. Because we're going to empty the column, and it will qualify with the card at that point.
We're done?
Yeah.
Right. Gulgabot.
Taskabot.
It's moving 2 spaces counterclockwise, so it moves to here.
Yeah, drain them whites. Go ahead.
It is performing action C.
It's got nothing to build.
So it does B.
Projectiles. Oh, stop pointing at the king. Hate it when it points at the king. All right, so...
Can it make anything else bigger?
No.
No. So it goes for whatever the number is, which is number 2, which is brown. Okay? And then it's going on the highest numbered space. So it's going on 15. Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't go on 15 because it's adjacent to an existing brown.
So I have to go to 13.
So it goes on 14.
Oh, 14. Sorry, there's one in between. Yep. It doesn't cover a bonus.
Doesn't cover a bonus, so it doesn't get a bonus. That's its first action.
And
then that goes. Its second action is also B, which is another projectile, again pointing to the king. So this time it is making the brown one bigger.
Yep, regardless of the fact that the brown just got covered up.
And it can't go there, so it goes there.
This time it is covering a bonus.
It is covering a bonus, so it moves up its weakest 1, 2 spaces. And I couldn't find in the rules anywhere where it said if they were tied.
2 spaces? 1.
Just 1.
Yeah.
So this is a 3. Evens, it's this one. It's odds. Still in area 1.
We're doing
it again?
We're doing it the big assistant again.
Oh, not again.
These little assistants are a pain.
Thank you, chat.
Yeah. That's an easy...
So let's undo that.
That's an easy undo. Take that off. Remove all those. That comes off, because that's more there. And that's it. That's it. He's getting no other benefits. I do wish they swapped the 2 meeples round.
We might have to play that next time. Swap the 2 meeples round.
As I say, the big meeple is always the one you think is going to do the most work. And the tiny little meeple looks too insignificant.
Yeah. There you go.
It's probably just going to do the same thing there, though, because it can't afford to build. I mean, it will take a die.
So it's B.
So it takes a 2 die.
Takes the 2 die because it's moved.
Yeah, we didn't take a die of it before, but it can't build.
No, it's not moving to 2. It's moving to 3. So it takes the 6.
Whichever, yeah.
Takes the 6 die. So B is placing a project.
Yeah, because it's not building that 3 size building.
So it would try and increase the size of the current project, but that's already size 3.
Yeah. It can't do...
Number 2 is brown. It can't do brown. So it moves along to the next number.
Yeah.
Places yellow. On the highest numbered space that it's allowed to place it.
15.
Which is 15. There's a bonus there. So it moves up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then its second action is B, which is the projectile, which is placing another one on the highest numbered space, which is there, which gets the bonus, which moves that one up.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Are we good?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yep. At least put a smiley face on this or something. That's easier to tell like me.
Right, hour go.
Yep. Well, we already knew what we were doing.
Yeah, but where do we want to go next?
How about...
Down here?
I think maybe take the 6 and just stay where we are. Drains the green die quicker. We can always get another green die.
We can
Or
always do this.
do that even.
Okay, that's fine. So we take the 6 and we stay where we are because here is 5 and that's not there.
And we want to drain it, so...
First action. Build the building.
Well, let's do the top one first, because we can get a green die and not have to spend gold.
How are we getting a green die? Oh, you mean this action?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do that action. We keep our architect where he is and we take a green die.
Yep.
And then our second action is this. We spend those 2. White. Should we do the white or should we do the brown?
Which one's going to score anytime soon? Not
the brown one's... We only need to do the white one by the end of the game.
Well, we're going to be here next turn, aren't we? So we're going to build a house next turn anyway.
So
it
doesn't actually matter.
Let's do the white power turn.
We're going to do the white one.
Yeah.
And we're going to gain white mastery.
To be honest, we're not really caring about the mastery. Why don't we just get the gold?
Because if we... No, yeah, true.
Well, as I say, we're not trying to score for fancy buildings, are we? So
we'll get the gold.
If anything, if we want a mastery of any colour, we want it to be brown anyway. So
and that goes on there. Right. That was our second action. But now that we've done that, we've cleared that column, which is 10 points.
Boom.
And we claim that objective, which is one of each building.
And one of each ziggurat.
And one of each ziggurat, which is 12
another 12.
Points. 65. Take that, Gulgabot.
That's what you get for confusing us with little meeples. And having priority rules.
I think we're done. We've done our 2 actions.
We have, and we're staying put.
That should have gone there.
Yeah.
Right. So, where's it going next? It's 1 space counterclockwise, but we're ignoring these 2. So it goes here. Can it take a die of value 1? Yes.
Yep. And there!
It's there. This is where it is. Action B. Placing a project. And the arrow is pointing to the king.
Whoa. Starts at the top regardless.
Sorry, starts
of
at
the
the
arrow.
top.
Yeah,
C.
so C. So can it build? No.
Because there's no projects. D.
Doesn't have a
Gardening.
garden.
B.
Project.
Arrow is pointing to 3, which is yellow. So it goes on here.
The
and it's
lowest number.
the lowest number, which is number 2.
Next to a garden. Makes sense.
Does that change that out?
Yep.
Okay, second action is A. And the arrow is not pointing to the king, so it gets 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What did they replace? The free one? Yeah.
And then that goes over there. Yeah, we got it right, I think.
We got that right. It was just knowing which district it was in. It's the weird thing with the D action, because people were thinking, well, why does the bot never do gardens? It's all dependent on it getting a garden.
If it had a garden, it would
the only way it does a garden is when it gets a garden off that bonus.
Right.
Which happens now and again. And when it does get a garden, it kind of spirals out of control, a bit like what you did last time with the gardens. It's like, right, I've got a garden. Oh, I've got all the resources. I can buy 2 more gardens, and I spam 3 of them out at the same time. It doesn't do a garden every now and again. It does one big sprawl of gardens when it can.
What's our plan then?
Yeah.
Are we going to 3 or are we going to 4?
Yeah. It also might be down to the bot card.
The bot card, we're playing with that particular king as well.
Does not care about gardens,
Doesn't
whereas
do
one of the other
gardens.
3 bots might love gardens.
Are we going here?
Hard to say.
Well, we want this to score rather than this.
We do. Is that our
That's a
2?
few extra points.
Well, where are we? There, aren't we?
Yeah. So we can take a 3 or a 4.
Well, 4 is the port, so it's got to be 3. Actually, that's pretty good, actually, because the 5...
Well, we can
sends us
actually
straight
move to
back.
wherever we want. If we do exactly the same again, we take a green die from the supply,
No, that's true, yeah, we could just stay where
and
we want.
we move to wherever we want.
Let's just stay in the ziggurat and let's just get it spammed quick.
Oh, to get a bazillion points from it. We can.
Well, we're going to make it score again before the end of the game anyway,
We've managed to get a loop. Because that's there, and we choose that action every time, we're getting the 2 green dice, and we're literally just cycling around.
We could spam that.
We could, but we want to do that one first.
Yeah, that first.
So that one goes in there. Claim marker goes on there. We are now getting
2 green dice.
4 points for each of our buildings on the board. There you go. There's basically a disc on each of those.
Yeah, which is fine.
And that's it. That's our go done.
Well, we've done that, so
Yeah.
we are doing that.
We did that.
You got the resource from it?
Took the green die. Spent the 2 green die. Done.
All right, so cool.
Gulgabot. It's moving 3 spaces counterclockwise from where it is. 1, 2, 3. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It takes the 4. It is doing action D, gardening. It skips that. Action B, placing a project. This time it wants to do brown. Can't do brown, so it moves to the next one,
White.
which is white. And it's going on the lowest numbered space. Can't go on 1 because it's adjacent to white. Can't go on 2, so it goes on 3. I think that's right.
Yeah, it's not pointing at the king, so
Okay. And
it's determined by the, yeah.
Its second action is D, which it doesn't do. So its next action is B. Same again. Oh, we need to change white out, I think.
Yeah, which...
We're cycling round again. Yeah, there's not enough tiles in there.
Well, but that was a decree card selection. So.
It was, yeah. So yeah, it's doing a project tile, which is going to be number 2 on the lowest space. Well, it's either going to be yellow or white.
Yes.
It's either going to put a yellow one there or a white one there. It's a yellow one. So, oh no, it can't go there. That's an illegal place for a yellow one.
So we'll go on the next.
So it goes
legal.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What a mess. Yeah. We got a mix here. Okay. I think it's done.
Yeah.
Was it staying where it was? Yeah, because it moved 3.
Yeah, it's just plonking tiles out.
So, are we just repeating this?
It's...
I think we are.
Well, yeah, because I mean, well...
We're just going to repeat that as many times as we can.
I think we're going to repeat it to get the scoring done. But we've only got 3 more buildings. So we can't spam it forever.
Okay.
Not to mention, also,
Claim.
we get claim markers.
Claim. We don't have much claims.
So this will probably be the last turn we can do it without a claim marker.
Should we go here next then? Get some claim markers.
Works for me.
So we take the 3.
Yeah.
We move to the 3.
Although maybe go to brown, because if that one's going to score them anyway. If we go to brown, that's draining very quick as well. We could probably not score yellow ever. And look at more buildings we could. Just
we're gonna go there anyway because we're choosing this action.
Oh yeah, true.
To move to wherever we want to and take a green resource, and then we choose that action and we spend those 2 green resources and we build another one.
On here.
So mastery of yellow.
Mastery of yellow. It does get us over the boundary.
Claim on there.
Yeah, it does get us the boundary. Why not?
So our yellow buildings are now worth 2.
And the ziggurat buildings are worth 1 each.
Of which we've got
Lots.
6. Okay.
Remember?
So we're done. Ultima. It's moving 2 spaces counterclockwise, so it moves to here. Cannot take a die of value 3, so it takes the highest one.
Right, now the thing is, if it actually, well, now it's got the resources to do a build.
Yeah, is it going to do something? It's going to do D in here. Can't. Is it going to do C? It's going to
Now
build.
it can, because it can build.
So what's the priority now? The arrow is pointing to the king.
Right, the arrow's now pointing to the king.
Yeah.
See you later, beast. Okay. Common district. Multiple, well, I think it's that one down there. So I think it's building... If the current symbol is the king symbol, follow the priority order listed on the king card.
Mm-hmm.
Which looks like... Oh, yeah. Yes, now we get it. Chooses to construct a building following usual rules. During setup only, it chooses the highest numbered space. Following the usual rules. So,
okay.
So it's like as if the king wasn't a factor.
Right.
So in this case, the largest building consisting of the most project tiles. The building matching the colour of the bot's most advanced mastery marker. Is there a brown? Yeah.
There is.
It's going to do brown.
So it will build the brown building.
Yeah. It will build the brown building because it wants to have the highest mastery with the building.
Okay. So it's going to cost it 2 brown plus another 2 brown.
So All the dice, basically.
All the dice. Right, now we have 1 claim token on there, so we get...
Hey, we actually get a brown.
which gets us a claim.
Oh, thank you, AI.
And these come off.
Anyone would think you were stupid, AI.
And 3 browns go on.
So remove
And
the
it
claim
gets...
marker from the
Yeah,
random
and
district.
it gets 1 house on there, which is brown, but it's already taken brown, so it goes on there. Size 4 because of that.
And if it has the required number of gold, no... Well, yes, it does, actually, yes, because it's only 1 gold
It
regardless.
has a gold.
It claims a ship tile.
So...
Following the ship
it was
preference
a 3,
roll.
so it can either be that one, which isn't in a column or row, that one, which is in a row.
That'll do then.
So it's that one. Which gets it nothing. No.
Apart from, yeah, there's normal scoring. That was all its resources gone.
Let's come back.
Okay.
Was that the first action?
Yeah, the
was
first
the
one
first
he could do.
Second action, arrow goes...
Oh, yeah, arrow to there.
I did see. Arrow over to there is A. A with the arrow pointing to the king is 2 points and a gold.
That was gold back.
Okay, and then that moves to there. Hour go. We're going to take the 2. We're going to move it to here. Whether we keep it there or not, I don't know.
Nope. We spend the gold and move it back to green.
Spend a gold, move it back to green.
Get it there nice and quick.
Right, 2 actions here.
Let's see. Hang on. So we need 1 claim marker for there. We've got 1 spare. Okay.
We can build this.
Whoopee, it gives him a couple
It's
of
worth
extra
6 points.
Oh, yeah, because our mastery's up there. Is it worth 6? Oh, yeah, because we're purple. Yeah.
It's using all of our gold.
It only goes up 1 mastery, doesn't it? It doesn't go up
But
1 per...
doesn't
go up 1 per tile, does it? Or how many...
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to get 3 mastery.
Big whoop.
But I think that's fine.
Can't got that many buildings, yeah.
No, exactly. So we do first action is we build. It costs us 2 brown.
Yep.
And it doesn't cost us anything because this is all somebody else's claims. So it gains 3 points of mastery, which is a claim token, which is a point. But then all of these come off. We get 3 yellow buildings. Do like the way these connect together. It's quite nice. We're going to put a house on there, which can be this one. And we're going to get points for that when it scores. But that's it. That's our first action.
Yeah.
I've no idea what we're going to do as a second action.
Well, not really, because, I mean, we're about to score this time, and then the other one we're going to score, and then that's going to be game end triggered.
Tell you what, rather than spending the gold to move that, our second action can be place a white project there.
Oh, yeah. Just let that happen.
And just move that to there.
Works for me.
Okay. End of our turn. That moves to there. We score.
Not that we care.
So we take the gold.
We just want to accelerate.
Dice. It's 5 dice and nobody had any. Right. Our yellow buildings are worth 2.
Actually, yeah.
We
do care now. Huh.
That's worth 2.
2, 4.
And that's worth 6. So we get 10.
10.
Brown. Oh, and we've got a white building which is worth 1, and it's got a brown building size 3
or 6.
6. Okay.
It's a bigger spread than the game. Well, saying that, I decimated the AI in endgame scoring, but not at this stage of the game. I wasn't that far ahead.
So, what happens now when this deck is empty?
Shuffle.
Does that become
reset
that
it?
card?
Shuffle all the automata cards together and place them face down. Then reveal the top 2 automata cards as in the initial setup.
Right. So we literally go cycling through them all.
Mm-hmm. That means this game took slightly longer than the last one.
Okay. So it's moving 3 spaces counterclockwise, so it stays where it is.
Mm-hmm.
That should be 1 less. Yeah, because it's built 2 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, it stays where it is, and it's doing action C first, which is build. Can it build? Oh, and it needs to take a dice. It takes a dice. So can it build? It has the resources.
Yeah.
There is a project. Oh no, it doesn't have the resources because it would be 2 white and a yellow. So it can't build, so it places a project. And it's placing a project on priority 3, which is brown, on the highest numbered position. that it can do, which is 14.
Yep. No bonus?
No bonus.
Yeah, the one thing with the AI is that it doesn't... It's not quite always making the most optimal decisions.
So that was the first one. Second one is action B. So it does the same. It's placing another one.
Yeah.
And this time it's going on there. Getting a bonus, which gets it...
Gets it 3
3 points because it gets the bonus printed on there. That's not happened yet, has it?
No. Well, it hasn't... Well, a lot of the times it's had the king marker on it. Or
True.
it's gone in the spaces.
True.
This also has not... Compared to my game, this one hasn't been doing the A action as often.
Yeah.
I had one point where the AI got stuck on... It drew 0-0 3 times in a row.
Right.
Got stuck on the exact same district. But because the only thing it could build was a 5 massive district, it basically kept defaulting to A 3 times in a row for like 12 points.
So our go, we're here, we take this.
Yep.
We move to here. We're going to change our mind on that. We then do that action to take a green die and move to wherever we want to go.
Well, we're only going to get... We go second, don't we, in the game? Right?
Yeah.
So 1 turn each. So we've got 1 last turn to build a house anywhere we feel like.
And probably a yellow one.
We've got 4 over there. We've got 2 over there. That's enough for our urban.
Just go here.
Yeah. It honestly doesn't
It's
make
next
a
to the
difference.
garden. So we want to build that one. That's better.
Yeah.
Okay, we then spend these 2 green dice to place our final house.
There's a good chance he'll build it anyway,
here,
but yeah.
getting a gold. And putting the claim marker on there.
Yep. All the ziggurat buildings in the world.
There you go.
And then it
that
scores the
goes to
ziggurat
there.
there.
And then we score this.
Don't forget to mark that project. I believe we already have, yeah. Oh, the one... Yeah.
So we're now scoring this area. So we get 2 points per house in a ziggurat area.
Say hello to 14.
We have 7. We got 14 points. We then get 4 points for each building. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 28 points.
We're just decimating the AI in this one.
And then we get no points for that.
Yeah.
Done.
It was a closer game than my one.
And we get a goal. I think we just got a cycle going.
We got a cycle going and just
worked
spammed it, yeah.
Right. End of the game has been triggered. The AI gets 1 more
turn,
and then we get 1 more turn. It's moving 2 spaces counterclockwise.
To the point where it actually should have been going in the first place, but
It takes the 5. It is doing action B.
Oh, do we have claim tokens when we put another ziggurat down?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it there.
Yeah, we're good then.
Yeah. We've now got no claim tokens.
But we've only got 1 turn left in the
there.
game.
So,
yeah, we only built 1 building there and we had 1 claim token, so that's enough.
So it's doing action B here. And the arrow is pointing to lowest numbered space and it's priority 2, so it's brown. It can't put a brown... Oh, no, it can.
It can.
It can go there.
We got the worker right? Yeah. Is that district right?
Yeah. Claim. That's B done. Then the second one is B again. Again, it can't do brown, so it does yellow. Did it get a bonus for that?
Well, you covered that one.
Yeah, there was a bonus. So it gets a gold.
Gets a gold.
And then it's doing B again. This time it's
but
yellow.
It's doing B again, yeah.
And it is the arrows pointing to the lowest numbered space. So it's 3, no bonus.
Oh, we haven't given the points. Brown cigarette. How many buildings has AI got?
Did we not give it the points?
No, we didn't. We got selfish.
Ah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's got 4 buildings at 4 points, so it's got 16.
Give it the 16. Come on, we're already decimating it. Let's at least give it its fair share of points.
Thank you, chat.
Thanks, Matt. The cycle we got... well, wait for our thoughts at the end.
I think it's just done 2 claims.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
done,
B and B.
It's done B and B, and that's it.
Yeah.
And now it's our go.
Because Autumner is dumb.
For the final action of the game,
Build a house. Any house.
yellow's best for us.
So it's... Where are we? Over there?
So it's going to... Well, we take a die. We move to wherever it's
we're
irrelevant.
purple again, yeah.
We then spend 2 white.
As much gold as we fancy.
2... Oh, no, it's not ours. So we don't have to pay for it.
Fair enough then.
Okay. But Gulgabot gets 2 yellow mastery.
Whoopee. Yeah, because we get 2 for...
Oh, we've no house.
Oh, we don't have a house, period.
We can't do that.
Maybe that's what
maybe
that's what Bat was on. It wasn't so much the clay markers. We just haven't got a house period to put out.
We get 4 points.
Yeah.
We just do that
We
twice.
cheese it onto 18, 20, 22.
Yeah, because there's nothing else. We've no houses.
We've literally emptied out our resources, claims that, but we have a lot of gold.
So end of the game, every district scores. So our yellow houses are worth 2. So that's worth 2. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10 points.
Right.
So 10 points for us in District 1.
Take your 2 gold back. It doesn't matter, Mark.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't score.
Not worth anything.
All right, so what's that?
10 points for us in District 1.
Mm-hmm.
District 2, nothing. District 3, this one is worth 1. This one is worth 1. And this one is worth 1.
Yeah, we didn't care about the other 2 colours. So.
Okay. In the port, we get no points. And then up here, we get another 14 for that.
And what was the other one? 28.
And another 28 for that.
So another 42.
42.
77.
We've lapped it.
Yeah, well, bear in mind it was simultaneous. We haven't lapped it.
So, it's scoring. Brown, size 3, plus 1 for the garden is 4, multiplied by 2. So it gets 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for here. Its white buildings are worth 1. And it's got 2 of them. So 2.
It never went there. It never ended up landing there.
Here, it's got 1 yellow building, which is worth 3.
Yeah, it's kept laying projectiles all day.
Here, it gets 1 for that.
2.
And 1 for that.
That's it.
So that's 2. And then up here, it gets 4 multiplied by 1, 2, 3, 4. It gets 16.
So it didn't even get to the
8. And then we get 10 for our thing.
Carbon.
And it didn't do its... What were we on? 77? 87.
Yeah.
So we're saying that it didn't meet its...
Well, even if it did meet it, it would only get another 8. So...
Yeah.
Well, or maybe like another 12 or something. I mean, the rule book does not explain the urban card properly.
No.
So at most, for simplicity's sake, let's say it was 2 points for every building it put out. That would still only put it about
8.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, including those ziggurat-y ones. So.
Well, there you go. We did it as best we could. As I say, we are not 100% sure on some of the rules, which I tried to get clarification on and unfortunately wasn't able to before we did the stream. But you've got an idea of how it plays. So if you've got any questions about it, post them on BGG. Board and Dice are really good at answering any rules questions on there. There's a couple that we've got, mainly how does this card work?
how the urban card works.
But I think every time you play the solo game, possibly even more so than the multiplayer game, you've got to look at what's come out here, what's come out here, and what's come out here. And we did that, and we basically came up with, let's just build lots and lots of small buildings and spam that as much as possible. Yeah,
spam that, get 2 points for every building and everything, and the ziggurat thing. I mean, those linked together, and we just went nuts for it.
We didn't bother with gardens, we didn't bother with water. We only went for this because it was 2 points per house, which got
was
us
a lot.
a lot of points because we did it really early on. But it was this tile here, it was Z1, which seems really, really powerful. Let me just check the wording on that, because getting buildings seems easy if you're only building size 1 buildings. Z1, receive 2, 3 or 4 points for each of your houses in the common districts. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, that's what we did for the game, in a sense.
We got 28 points from that twice.
Yeah.
Okay. That's still a lot. That's still 56.
Yeah, it's still tons. I mean, you can argue like, the AI did it as well.
But it was because of that.
Yeah.
Because of that tile there, it allowed us to stay here, take a green one from the supply,
and
get the green one for moving, and build. And then next turn, take a green one from the supply.
Yeah.
That was just the perfect tile for us in that particular position.
Yeah, because if that had been a different tile, we would have had to have gone where the dice said. But that one, at least, basically said as that. Who named the game?
Yes.
We play Euros pretty darn well, perhaps.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I would definitely play it again solo.
Well, the solo I played in full...
Once you get used to it.
The solo I played in full did not come... was not a massive decimation like that. It's like, the AI was ahead of me for most of the game.
Yeah.
And then in the endgame scoring, I decimated it because I had some big buildings with gardens to score then. It seems that a way to beat the AI is deny it buildings by any means necessary. Let it go as high as it likes on the mastery tracks. Just deny it buildings, because it won't score much on the masteries if it hasn't got many buildings.
But how do you do that?
Build its project
Build
tiles.
its buildings.
Yeah, that's what I did in mine. Every time it got a thing out, before it went back there, I went and built on it.
Right.
Because I wanted the buildings of size high anyway. with what I was doing. Not to mention for a decree. The thing with the AI in this is, yes, you got to deal with rules for priority and stuff like that. That's the same with any heavy Euro.
Yeah.
With an AI. This isn't just simply try and beat your score. This is a functioning opponent.
It's a fairly complex AI that tries to simulate
Yeah.
another player, maybe not a very good player.
That's the...
It doesn't make as good a moves as another player would make.
No.
Which is compensated, I think, for the 4 points that it gets when it's doing the AI. Maybe.
But when it does the A, I mean, the 4 points is mainly because it won't get as many points for certain big moves. But the fact that it doesn't make optimal decisions is the concern in the sense. Because there was a couple of turns at the end that just because the cards came out that way, it plunks 2 projectiles down. And
that's what it wanted to do, wasn't it?
That's what I say. That's what the rules said it should do. But find me a player who, at that stage of the game, would think, you know what I need to do before we're about to finish the game?
Yeah.
Put 2 more projectiles down. It's like it's simulating an opponent in the best way, but not the most intelligent player.
So this 2-card system, I think we got used to it at the end.
Yeah,
It is interesting. This is the first action.
Mhm.
And then the second action is you follow the arrow to there and it tells you what the second action is.
yeah,
Then you've got either the king, which means it refers to the king card,
Yeah.
and all of the king cards are different, so that allows you to have different AIs.
that's the point. Grab the other 3.
I'll grab the other king cards. If it isn't, you use the arrow pointing to the number, and the number tells you which one of these tiles it's focusing on.
At the top there.
So that's quite clever, but we were cycling them around.
But then that's
fast.
because the decree cards at the start dictated we didn't have it, because the bag is built up of how many buildings of each colour on both decree cards.
Yeah,
And one decree card doesn't have any houses on it.
Yeah. So this is another bot, and you can see that's quite a bit more complicated. And these are all fully explained in the rulebook. You're not left to your own with the iconography. And as you can see, D looks like it's to do with gardens.
Yeah.
So yeah, the different AIs. Oh, that's very much gardens.
Oh god, yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. We were playing Gilgamesh, which basically means that it doesn't do much gardening.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we would have played that god, its default A action is get 2 gardens. That AI is going to be doing a lot of gardening.
Yeah, so the back of the rulebook does have... Where is it?
Back of the solo
Here.
modes, yeah.
So it has a full explanation of all of the king's cards and what they all do. So we played Gilgabot, the Sarbot, Botzumi, and Bot Baba. And yeah, the Sarbot is action A, the bot gains 2 garden tiles.
Yeah.
Which
And
means...
C does a garden, wants to build next to gardens. D is even more gardens, probably gets more of that. So,
And it was doing D quite a lot, but for us, D was skip
Nothing.
that and go on to the next one.
which is why it's the first bot card. Although
Yeah.
the interesting thing is, that looks more complicated than that.
True.
Which so I'm curious why that's not the starter card.
That's probably harder.
Could be. I mean, it does look like it gets a lot of... I suppose the thing with that is it's getting mastery, but then that doesn't necessarily translate to points, whereas getting gold is going to be... I can do more stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also, default A action is gain...
Mastery in the
lowest?
thing that it's the lowest in.
Yeah. And like I say, if it's spamming A a lot, it's going to have a lot of mastery.
We
so
didn't get much mastery. But we weren't going for that.
We didn't care about it, yeah.
It wasn't that... We didn't care that our buildings were only worth a couple of points each. It was...
Yeah.
Our buildings are worth 4 points each every time this district scores.
That's right. We wanted the ziggurat built a lot.
Yeah.
So we don't care about the mastery tracks, and we certainly didn't care about giving the opponent any mastery.
Yeah.
We just needed... We were essentially doing a rush strategy.
Uh-huh.
Rush the buildings out, get it to score as quickly as possible, end the game. Opponent hasn't got a chance to build a decent infrastructure.
I mean, yeah, this didn't score, except at the end of the game. This didn't score,
yeah.
except at the end of the game.
Well, this is the other thing. The bots' suboptimal decisions also don't put it in the district where it probably would want to go.
What you're saying is we took advantage of an inferior opponent.
Yes. we proved that humans are better than machines.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anyway, we're all done. Thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you for all of the help with the chat in keeping us honest with the things that we forgot during the game. As I say, we did the best we could with the rules as they are. Even if we didn't get it completely right, it gave you an idea of how the solo game works.
Yeah. I don't think any mistakes we made would have closed that gap that much.
No, no, that's true. And I don't think we made any fundamental rules mistakes.
That we didn't
as I
undo.
say, we might have made a couple of little ones during the game for things that we weren't sure about.
Well,
but yeah, if it's helped you get an idea of how the solo game works, brilliant. Please give the video a like, leave us a comment, and as mentioned, I didn't think I mentioned at the start. I did mention on the previous video. A big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters for funding the channel. If you like the content that I create, both me and Luke have our own Patreons for our own content. Luke's is The Broken Meeple. Mine is obviously Gaming Rules. If you are able to support us on Patreon, please do so, because it helps keep both channels going. We're going to be back later on tonight after chicken satay skewers, with some Ark Nova. So if you're interested, 8 o'clock tonight, GMT, we'll be playing some Ark Nova. We will see you then.
That'll be the Battle Royale to end all Battle Royales.
Cheers all. See you later.
Cheers.